Well, this upcoming snow season, the City of Rochester is partnering with the Center for Disability Rights to encourage residents and property owners to do their part to make sure all sidewalks are accessible and safe throughout the city. Joining us now to tell us about this effort is Brianna Chamberlain, Municipal Assistant for the city's Department of Environmental Services, Stephanie Woodward, Director of Advocacy at Center for Disability Rights, and Jensen Caraballo, Social Media Coordinator and Extraordinaire at CDR. Thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
Stephanie, we'll just start with a description of CDR. What does CDR do?
CDR is an independent living center, which means that we help people with disabilities live independently in the community. If people are in nursing facilities and don't want to be there, we help them get into the community. If you're having trouble living in the community because you need services, we help that as well. And then we also advocate to make the community more accessible to everybody.
And speaking of that, advocating activities, you've been working with the City of Rochester for a number of months. How did this partnership come about, Brianna?
Well, Mayor Warren and Commissioner Norman Jones met with the CDR back in March to talk about the difficulties that people with disabilities experience during the winter season. So, you know, they're compelling and outreaching words. Mayor Warren said this is a problem that we had to heighten. So we teamed up and we decided to go out to neighborhood associations and reach out to residents and business owners and say, you know, this is what we're trying to do. This is the information we're trying to give you. Please help us help you.
And what happens exactly at these meetings? And Jensen, you've attended several of the meetings, and outreach is your specialty. So what happens at the meetings?
Yeah, well, we explained to our community that this is a civil rights issue. Lots of people with disabilities are able to access the community, and this isn't something new. This is, you know, people with disabilities have been segregated from the community for a very long time. So it's really important that people understand that, you know, an inch of snow can be a big block, you know.
So it doesn't have to be a foot of snow, a snowstorm, just 1 inch of snow is all it takes to make things.
1 inch can be the difference between us getting to work or being stuck in our homes or going to buy groceries. So while the city does come and plow at 4 inches, before that is when we are still seeing issues with trying to just get around our community.
Sure.
So it really is a civil rights issue that we need to be able to get around our community just like everybody else. And a lot of people with disabilities rely on public transportation. So if we can't even get down the sidewalk to get to the bus stop, we can't go anywhere.
Right. So Brianna, what can residents, business owners do to take responsibility and help out?
Well, residents and business owners can definitely take the responsibility and make sure that their sidewalk in front of their home, in front of their place of business is clear. That's what we're really trying to emphasize, because it is city code that this is your responsibility, and we want you to make sure you know, help people out, such as Stephanie and Jensen, who rely on public transportation and have to get out and get to their jobs. And if they cannot do so, it's because of the snow, which is definitely an issue. So taking the responsibility and making sure we can help each other make Rochester accessible.
And not to wait for
Don't
3,
wait
4
Don't
inches.
wait for 3, 4 inches of snow. Get it as soon as it falls. 1 inch. Go out, clear it out. It'll make it that much easier. When the next snow hit, you're able to clear the snow out that much easier.
Now, along with the community meetings, what other sort of outreach is being done to get the word out?
Well, we plan on doing a lot of outreach on social media, but we've been really meeting, you know, reaching out to the community at these meetings and letting people know that, you know, this is our community, this is our home, we need to take care of it. And once we can, you know, control this issue, lots of people with disabilities will have access to jobs, to do groceries, basic things that me and you should be able to do equally.
And Brianna, you guys are going throughout each quadrant, is that right, through the city? How many meetings have you had so far?
Oh man, we've had probably about 15 meetings. we have a lot more to go as well, just because we're really trying to get people to understand, and even kids that are part of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and kids who need community service with the school district. Please reach out to us, your neighborhood service center, neighbors. If you know an elderly person who isn't able to shovel their sidewalk or their driveway, reach out. You are the community. You know your neighbors just as well as anybody else, and offer that. So community service, Boy Scouts, we're definitely trying to get people from all over the city to reach out in some way to help us out.
Have you heard from any community organizations that have heard about this effort or maybe attended a meeting and said, hey, sign us up for this?
Absolutely. So Karen St. Aubin has actually been in contact with the Boy Scouts to try to set something up. We're just trying to put everyone we can to try to, get things done.
What has the reaction been from the community so far when they hear about this partnership?
I think a lot of people just had no idea that it was even the law that they had to do this, which is why it's really important for us to be having these discussions. We don't want to enforce a law that nobody even knows about. So to have these discussions that, hey, you really do need to get out there and shovel your sidewalk, not just to be polite and because it's our city, let's take care of it together, but it really is the law that you have to do this. And a lot of people have just been very receptive to that, unknowing. Some people have been a little bit cranky. Some people just, it's cold out. Nobody wants to plow when it's cold out. I expected more cranky people, but we haven't encountered that many. I would say 95% of the reactions have been positive and welcoming of the information and genuinely good-hearted in making the effort.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been relating to us, people that walk. They have a hard time getting through snow just as just like us. So, a lot of people have been cranky, but some of them understood the issue. And really, like I said, it's a civil rights issue. People with disabilities can't access the community, and that's an issue. So, yeah, you're cranky, but we got to support each other.
For sure. What are some of the other outreach measures that the city is taking to get the word out?
Well, CityWise, things such as this. At your service guides that are sent to every home in the city. People must take the time to read these materials. That's sent in the mail? Yes, that's in the mail. Take the time to read it. It gives great information. We're doing public service announcements, having the commissioner come out to each one of these meetings, having Jim McIntosh, the city engineer, come out to these meetings, Karen St. Aubin, director of operation, come out to these meetings. All these people who are coming out that want to get the word out. So we have material, we have Stephanie, we have Jensen, a ton of people coming out to say, hey, community members, residents, business owners, help us.
Where do you see this partnership going in the future with CDR and the City of Rochester? What other things do you hope to accomplish? Well,
we've actually been getting feedback from people at our meetings. One individual took me aside and said, listen, in the summer, we have problems. I know someone in a wheelchair who can't get through on sidewalks because restaurants put their tables out on the sidewalks. And by law, you have to leave a path that's at least 36 inches wide for people to get through. So we've already begun discussions on how can we work together on making sure that in the summer, the sidewalks are just as accessible as we want them to be in the winter. And how can we work to make sure that city businesses understand the requirements of accessibility so that overall, any season, people with disabilities can access our city.
How can people get in touch with CDR if they have a question or they're looking for a service?
Well, Jensen's rocking our social media, so they could always contact us on Twitter, Facebook, and even on Instagram, but they can check out our website at cdrnys.org, and they could always give us a call at 585-546-7510.
Brianna, where can people find out information on how to attend one of these community meetings?
Well, you can definitely call me personally. My office number is 428-7223. Reach out to your neighborhood service centers. They know where the meetings are taking place, the time, and things of that nature. So definitely contact myself or contact your neighborhood service center. They'll be able to let you know what meetings are going on next.
Will these be happening throughout the winter, or will they kind of stop once the snow starts?
Well, the meetings are going until December. But after that, you will still continue hearing about the importance of shoveling your sidewalks, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
Definitely.
A lot of people have questions about, well, when do I shovel, or when does the snowplow come, or how can I get more information just about parking and those sort of things. So will the city do its job? Where can people find out about snow removal?
cityofrochester.gov. There are links on there. Myself and Megan Bosco is working on making new snow removal sites, which you can connect through the City of Rochester website. But right now, the city does have information on. The city comes out when it's 4 inches of new snow to clear your sidewalks, 3 inches of new snow on the streets. So the information is there, but we're doing everything we can to advance it, very much so.
But again, we don't want to wait till the 4 inches.
Don't want to wait until the
Right.
4 inches. Get out there as soon as the snow hits.
Okay.
I promise it'll be that much easier for you.
Is there anything else that residents can do to either help spread the word or just help lend a helping hand?
I think just talking to your neighbors, because we can't reach every single person. Being on CityWise or going to all of these meetings, we're trying to reach out as much as we can. We're putting in the effort, but we don't know everyone in the city. So just having a simple conversation with your friends, saying, "Oh, hey, did you know that this was even a requirement? And did you know how it impacts people with disabilities?" Like, it really does make a difference in our community. I think just hearing it from your peers, like, I'm going to shovel my sidewalk, you should shovel yours. It makes a huge difference.
Now, Jensen, if you could just mention what your Twitter handle is, the Facebook page
Yes.
name, that sort of thing.
So we're on Facebook as the Center for Disability Rights.
Okay.
And Twitter is at CDRNYS.
CDR NYS. Okay, and there's an Instagram account as well.
We don't have an Instagram at the moment. No.
I lied.
You lied.
Sorry.
Or maybe now you will.
We'll start one today.
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on today, and thank you for all of the great efforts that being done in the City of Rochester. Again, the Center for Disability Rights can be contacted by phone, 546-7510, and questions about shoveling snow or snow removal in your neighborhood, you can call the City of Rochester Department of Environmental Services. The main number there is 428-6855, and you can always dial 311 to be connected with the City of Rochester. Thanks for joining us on this edition of CityWise. I'm Tiana Stevens, and we'll see you next week.